Happy New Year, everyone. I'm your friendly neighborhood menace bunny, and this is my first attempt at a bullet journal. So, this is my poor little old planner. I've always been a planner girl ever since I was a little kid, but I think it's time for something new. So I'm going to put this away, and I'm going to open my fresh bullet journal. So, handily enough, it already has the key put in there. I just added a couple more little notes for myself. And on this end, I'll be adding in a penicillin allergy notice so that no one kills me with penicillin. Okay, so these are some artist pens that I treated myself to earlier last year, and I think I'll use them throughout the whole journal. Now, because I love space, I'm going to go in with this retro theme. So it's very like 1950s inspired, like Jetsons, what we thought the space would be like, back when no one had landed on the moon as yet. I also kind of thought it was a cheeky play on words with Futurelog, but mainly I chose it because I love space, not because I was trying to be funny and ironic. Right, so we're just going to flash forward in a second so you can see my Futurelog all complete, and there it is. Now, I did make a couple of little mistakes there, which I rectified with this white gel pen, so you can hardly tell, like if you're just looking at it from afar. So I thought I'd continue that whole retro space theme, and I came up with this little design of a spaceship taking off. So I'll just let you enjoy a few minutes of inking, line drawing there. That ended up feeling a bit plain, so I thought I might put in some inspirational words for 2019. So I chose Blast Off, and I used that same retro lettering. So, a little known fact about me: when I was a teenager, I really wanted to be a comic book artist, like David Lapham, who wrote and drew his own comic books. So I guess I'm trying to really get back into that, and that's going to be one of my goals this year, to keep drawing. So I could have made this journal purely functional, like my other planners, but I thought, why not, and see if I can get back into drawing and getting back into being more creative, not just with my drawing but also with my writing. So I'll be putting a few things like that in my channel from here on in, just to keep me motivated and accountable. So just another quick note about my love of space. It all started when my uncle lent me, sorry about the hand crampy there, he lent me A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking on VHS, and ever since then I'd been really interested in space. This of course set me up to get really interested in anime through Sailor Moon, which is also space-based, and we're blasting off. I'm really happy with how this spread turned out. Now, on the other end here, I'm going to put in my goals, so at least one or two for each of these different categories. First time doing that, we'll see how it goes. And speaking of goals, I thought a really great way to track my savings would be to continue the little rocket theme and draw cute little spacecraft thingies with the like number of dollars I want to save for each of these categories. Yeah, the first one that I drew there is for travel, and I think the second one there's an emergency fund, and I've got a little alien spacecraft for my wish list. There it is, all inked out and complete with the same font that I had. I just didn't fill it out this time. And for my wish list, I did a retro space girl and put in the words "be out of this world" as further inspiration. So here's my little flip through of what I've done so far for my 2019 retro space setup. I really love how it all turned out, and I can't wait to fill it out with my wish lists and goals. And it brings us into January, where my chosen theme is David Bowie. So David Bowie was born in January on the 8th, and he also died in January a couple of years ago. Of course, I was absolutely devastated because he was really my gateway into, I guess, goth and industrial music through his collaborations with Placebo and 9 Inch Nails. And I've really always loved his creativity and his courage to just be who he is, no matter what, and to be so expressive. And it doesn't stop there. I absolutely adored his music growing up, and I still listen to it. The only album that I don't really listen to much these days is his last one, Black Star, because unfortunately I can't go into it without crying. And he's just one of my favorite people, and I really miss him. And when I was in New York last year, I had a chat to the lady who runs Obscura, and we had this wonderful talk about David Bowie and how we both felt that the world had changed in a very fundamental way since his passing. So I'd like to honor him in my first journal and dedicate my January spread to him. I guess David Bowie, with all his space age themes and talking of alienation and everything else like that in his lyrics, kind of also conveniently blended in with my 1950s retro space theme for the beginning of my journal. Again, my love of the stars and space and everything else, I think, is also intrinsically tied into David Bowie. So I think maybe this whole journal will just be pinned in on that throughout the whole time, keeping that theme of the stars and constellations, and just our greater position in the universe. It's very easy to feel very small. So I guess that's not a really bad thing, is that it really puts everything into perspective. So I went in here with my little white gel pen to do a little kind of constellation ziggy, and brings us into the proper bits of the journal. So this is where things start getting a bit serious business. Right, so I'll just come back once I've numbered everything. There we go. So I'm going to do my trackers on the side here, just to experiment and see what I like. I'm going to do a little key here for what everything means. So my daily habits that I want to do is work on a project at least once a day. I want to exercise at least half an hour, and I want to practice a little bit of kanji every day. And of course the M is to track my mood. Now a couple of things I want to put in there is a little symbol for money stuff, and one for tracking Shark Week or the menstrual cycle. And for my categories of mood, I'm going amaze, good, okay, meh, and weth, which is a word that my cousins and I made up for woe and death. I'm not really sure where it started, but it's kind of stuck, and I've never stopped saying it. Because I want to kind of keep my whole journal monochromatic. I'm going in with more of my comic book drawing art supplies and using this grayscale pack that I have. Picked it up at Aldi. Aldi is amazing. You can find so many things there just seasonally, and I just randomly found these on my during the last week of semester last year, and I thought, you know what, why not treat myself to more art supplies. On the bottom of my tasks page, I put down a David Bowie quote which reads, "Tomorrow belongs to those who hear it coming." I thought it was rather apt for 2019, just to inspire me to be more prepared. And boring finance tracker thing, I'll see what works in the future. But more excitingly, here is my summer couch wardrobe spread, and as if I wouldn't draw David Bowie in one of his more iconic Japanese-inspired outfits. Okay, so David Bowie also got me into Japanese. Maybe it was space that got me into Japanese because of that whole connection with Sailor Moon, etc. You know what? Who knows? Chicken and egg. So, if you're not a Bowie-phile, you may not know that this particular outfit was designed by Japanese designer Kansai Yamamoto, who actually did quite a lot of David Bowie's outfits in the 70s, you know, where he got a lot of his iconic looks. So just to finish this drawing off, I brought in my white gel liner so that I could add the details of the outfit back in. Yeah, I've always seen this photo of David Bowie in this outfit, and it's always been so wonderfully futuristic to me. And it makes me wonder what, you know, we'll do moving forward, because it feels like all fashion is just repeating itself at this stage. Like, we're currently back in the 90s, and you know, I'd really love to see more stuff like this, but maybe we just need the courage to wear it. Okay, so here it is, the flip through of my brand new bullet journal. I hope it goes well. I hope I end up using it and really loving the process. So far it's been a great experience getting back into drawing and being able to set out things the way I want to set them out, and not having any superfluous you know, sections like I'd had in the planners. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I might add more to this spread, and perhaps at the end of January I'll do a little flip through of all the other little David Bowie quotes and things. Right, so thank you so much for watching this video where I've put together my first bullet journal. If you'd like to see more, or you found value in this content, please subscribe or leave me a message. Thanks. Bye.